What's going on? You're watching Raider Nation Rumors, and if you want to get on the show, subscribe below, youtube.com/Raiders Report, where I take rumors straight from you, and I turn them into this awesome show. The first one coming up here on the board is from Derek. Could you see Daniel Jones going to the Raiders as their second-round pick and keeping Derek Carr as a mentor? Derek, appreciate the question. However, I'm giving this one 0 Chucky heads. Tuck rule, tuck that. Now, I get that some NFL people think that Daniel Jones could be a QB1. He's just a decent quarterback in a poor quarterback class, which then is pushing him up NFL draft boards. And he claims that he's pro-ready, but I'm going to listen to my dude Tom Downey, who is the best in the biz, and he dislikes Daniel Jones, I think, even more than what he disliked Josh Allen last year. And I see Daniel Jones, and the one thing that I don't get from Raider Nation is y'all bag on Derek Carr for not being able to throw the ball down the field. Daniel Jones has a way worse arm than Derek Carr. Like, Daniel Jones can't stretch the field, and yet you want to invest in a quarterback who's a worse version of what Derek is. So for all you people who hate Derek, this doesn't make sense at all. 0 Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that. I want to ask everybody watching real quick, who is the best quarterback in the NFL draft? I can promise you it's not Daniel Jones. Who's the best quarterback? If you want to know who my top players are, I'm going to go with Kyler Murray. Dwayne Haskins is a close second, but I don't know if everybody watching on YouTube or Facebook. I said that last rumor was tuck rule, tuck that. What the heck does that mean? Here's my Chucky head explainer. 0 Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that. Rumor, not going to happen. 1 Chucky head is a small shred of truth. I like to think 25% chance of happening. 2 Chucky heads, people are talking. 50-50. 3 Chucky heads, this rumor is pretty likely 75% chance. And then 4 Chucky heads, say it with me. Believe it, baby, 100%. This rumor is going to happen. This one's coming in from, it's freaking Trey Ray? Okay, that's clever. That a boy. Raiders are guaranteed to have a top 5 defense and a top 5 offense. 10-6 wild card playoffs in 2019. Well, it's freaking Trey Ray. I'm going to give this one 1 Chucky head, and I think it's a small shred of truth because, first off, if the Raiders have a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense and finish 10-6, I'll shave my head. Like, that just doesn't even make sense how you could have a top 5 offense and top 5 defense and still only be 10-6. But in terms of, we'll concentrate on the 10-6 and are they going to make the playoffs? I mean, in 2018, 4-12, 2017, 6-10. Their only winning season in the last 5 years was in 2016 and 12-4, which was a great year. Here's the thing, though, it's Trey. They have a really tough schedule in 2019, and you could argue it's the toughest schedule in the NFL. And in fact, if you look at just pure winning percentage from 2018, the Raiders do have the hardest schedule. Now, we know the Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs, but then you got the Titans, right? That's a tough home game. The Bears. This one's in London, technically, not even in Oakland. Lions, Bengals, Jags. Again, these are pretty tough games. The Bengals might be a win. The Lions maybe. But then you're going to look at the road games. I think the Raiders, out of all NFL teams in the NFL, have the toughest road schedule. The Jets, I think, is maybe the only road game where I'm like, okay, the Raiders better win this freaking game. But then you got the Vikings, who I expect to bounce back. The Colts, the Packers, the Texans. These are tough road games. As much as I want to say the Raiders are going to be 10-6, toughest division in the NFL, toughest schedule. It's the reason why I'm giving this one only 1 Chucky head, small shred of truth. And also, everyone who's watching, make sure you guys subscribe. YouTube.com/Raiders Report. If you think I'm a halfway decent guy, interact with me on IG and Twitter at MitchellRenz365. But I want to know from everybody watching, okay? How many games will the Raiders win in 2019? I gave you their road games. I gave you their home games. How many games will the Raiders win in 2019? I want you to comment below. If you think that you know how many games they're going to win, put your money where your mouth is. Go to BetDSI. Use my promo code Raiders120 for 120% deposit bonus. See that link down there? It says play now. Use it. Chatsports.com/bet. If you think that you're smarter than me, or if you think that I'm crazy for not thinking the Raiders are going to make the playoffs, get at me at Instagram and Twitter at MitchellRenz365. I'll bet with you. Let's do it. Use that promo code Raiders120. Billy Taylor, what's going on, my man? Oh, boy, Billy. Billy. Carr traded to New York Giants for OBJ and then signed Nick Foles. Well, Billy, I don't know if there's a possibility, but I'm about to give you 2 tuck rule tuck that's because the Giants aren't trading OBJ. And I think everyone who thinks that, you're a bunch of tuck rule tuck that sticks. And in terms of signing Nick Foles, no, tuck rule tuck that. Like, why? Why do we want Nick Foles? And I get you're probably a Derek Carr hater. That's okay. And I get that he's the top free agent quarterback, but do the Raiders really get better with Nick Foles? I don't think so. We need to concentrate on our offense. Not naming Derek Carr. Let's add some receivers. Let's maybe re-sign Jared Cook. Let's add some defensive help. In terms of Nick Foles going to the Raiders, it just doesn't make sense to me. And when you look at his regular season stats, like the 72.3% completion percentage, sure, that's okay. And throughout his career, Nick Foles has been okay, right? And minus his one bad year when Jeff Fisher was his head coach, where he had 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, Nick Foles has been a pretty solid quarterback. But again, Nick Foles or Derek Carr, I'm going to go with Derek Carr every day of the week. And I want to know from everybody watching, I know this is a Raiders channel, but I don't understand how every single day I look at my DMs or if I look at the Raiders report and I see all these questions around getting rid of Derek Carr. I don't get it. Maybe you guys can help me out. Who's the better quarterback? Type C for Carr, type F for Foles. You better be typing C. Mr. Terrell 916, what's going on, my dude? Who's the best fit at the draft? Yeah, at the draft at wide receiver for the Raiders. Well, Mr. Terrell, before getting this question, I probably would have said Marquise Hollywood Brown, but then he got a Liz Frank injury. So I'm going to kind of twist it a little bit, okay? Why not maybe instead of wide receiver, maybe the Raiders can look at tight end? And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's rumors out there right now that they could move on from Jared Cook, or Jared Cook wants to test free agency market. Also, the wide receivers in free agency, much better than the tight ends. So why not have maybe the Raiders go after a tight end like Noah Fant, which I'm going to give 3 Chucky heads because I think it's pretty likely. And I like Noah Fant a lot. And sure, he kind of looks like he should be at Geek Squad, but he's a really good tight end, and he's one of those move tight ends. And I don't want to make the comparison, but he's, I think, an on-talent version of what Aaron Hernandez was. He's a really, really talented ball catcher. Move tight end, sure, he's not going to be able to be a blocker, but let's say Jared Cook doesn't want to come back. You can look at a Noah Fant, who's really, really good. In fact, he's my number 2 tight end in the 2019 draft. TJ Hockenson, Noah Fant, all out of Iowa, which apparently is now tight end U. Irv Smith, Isaac Nauta, Jay Sternberger, also solid options, but let's go out and get Noah Fant, maybe a pick 35, pick 27. I'd actually probably like that more over some of these other wide receivers who I think are starting to get pushed up the draft board now that Marquise Hollywood Brown has the Liz Frank injury. But you wanted to see some, I guess, wide receivers. Here are my top 5 wide receivers. Kelvin Harmon, A.J. Brown, who I've been thinking about moving him over Hollywood Brown, N'Keal Harry, and then the real Mr. Big Chest, DK Metcalf. Should the Raiders draft Noah Fant, though? I want to know from everybody watching. Type Y for yes, type N for no. If you don't want Noah Fant, at least tell me why. Hit me up, IG, Twitter, comment below. I want to know from everybody watching why you wouldn't want Noah Fant. If you want to get on the show, remember what I said. Subscribe below, youtube.com/Raiders Report. I love interacting with these fans. Heck, I literally dyed my hair just 2 days ago because we hit 10K. And in that time, we were already at now 10,500 subscribers. Get along with the best Raiders channel on YouTube. Subscribe below, youtube.com/Raiders Report. Next one's coming in from Sons of Al. And right now, Sons of Al may be my most loyal watcher. He hits me up on IG. He hits me up on Twitter. And for right now, the people who are hitting me up on IG, I'm putting you on the show. So a little word of advice. Nick Bosa blows away scouts at the Combine. Hashtag Raiders. Like it. Trade up for him now that he's cleared medically 100%. So the rumor here is, are the Raiders going to trade up and draft Nick Bosa? I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads, and people are talking. I'm starting to see a little bit of this love for Nick Bosa, and I'm saying it's about freaking time, because the only thing that you could say to me that worries you about Nick Bosa is the injury history. And you might hate the comp, but he's literally his brother 2.0. Joey Bosa Sure, this past year injured, but when he's on the field, dude is electric. And I know you guys can't see me doing the electric slide, but I absolutely love Nick Bosa. 29 games, 29 tackles for a loss, 17.5 sacks. There's a reason that Nick Bosa is the top player on Tom Downey's big board. And when I asked Tom 4 months ago, he said Nick Bosa. When I asked him 3 months ago, Nick Bosa. It hasn't changed. It's Nick Bosa because we've been confident that Nick Bosa is going to absolutely blow up the combine, and people are going to be like, ooh, damn, that guy can play. And I know I've said before that I would actually like the Raiders to trade back, but if Nick Bosa's the guy you really want, at the end of the day, go up and get him because I can guarantee you he's not going to be there at pick 4. I want to know from everybody watching, though. Will the Raiders trade up for Nick Bosa? I want you to type 4 for Believe It, baby, or 0 for Tuck Rule. Tuck that. Are the Raiders going to trade up for Nick Bosa in the 2019 NFL Draft? My next and last Raider Nation rumor is coming in from Darren Coles. Darren, before I get into your rumor, what's the rule here, my man? And if you're not a subscriber, get with it. YouTube.com/Raiders Report. No picture. I'm going to give you one. So, Darren, I don't know if you're 10 years old, but according to this, you're about like 62, probably work at State Farm, and you may be going to Applebee's for dinner tonight. And your rumor that you want to know is, are you trading, or are the Raiders trading for John Ross? Now, this is an interesting rumor that is literally flowing through Raider Nation right now. I'm giving it 2 Chucky heads, and people are talking, and there's been reports where the Bengals have said that they want to move on from John Ross. John Ross has said that he wants to move on from the Bengals. And then like 10 hours later, the Bengals are like, no, we didn't say that. And I think that they're just simply saying that because they're trying to still keep some of that John Ross value. And even though John Ross had only 21 catches in 2018, I mean, the dude still had 7 touchdowns, which is pretty mind-blowing considering a touchdown every 3 catches. But he also had an awful rookie season. And I like John Ross, but then there's other points where I'm like, I don't know if I want John Ross on the team. Now, if Mike Mayock wants to add speed, there's one thing I can guarantee you John Ross has. Speed. Now, I don't know if he ran the fastest 40 time ever. I think that's a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but he's still 4.2 for speed. I'll take that any day of the week. But here's my trade projection that I put together for the Raiders and John Ross. Who says no? 4th round pick, 106th overall for John Ross. I kind of like it, and I know I've already seen some comments about, John Ross before with the Raiders, but, I mean, if you want speed, he's going to be able to stretch the field. So 4th round pick, for me personally, I kind of like it, but I want to know from everybody watching, trade our 4th round pick, 106th overall for John Ross. I want you to type 1 for yes or type 2 for no. Make sure you guys turn on those YouTube notifications, and it looks like that little bell so you know exactly when I go live. I'm going to be off the next 2 days enjoying myself at Tom's bachelor party, but I'm still going to be uploading videos for y'all. Make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/Raiders Report, and also I'm going to have a video handpicked just for you coming up next.
Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.